Capacitors. Hi everyone. In today's class, we are going to discuss various types of capacitors, their charging, discharging, and testing. Objective. At the end of this video session, you will be able to identify various capacitors for various applications, charging and discharging capacitor, test the capacitors good or not. First, let us discuss brief about capacitors. Capacitors are like batteries in that they both store and release electrical energy. Batteries store electrical energy as chemical energy, whereas capacitors store electrical energy in the form of an electrostatic field. An electrostatic field is nothing but when two separated conductors have different electrical charges, an electrostatic field exists between them. Electrostatic forces are the ones if two objects have different charges, they attract or pull towards each other. If two objects have the same charge, they repel or push away from each other. Some of the examples of electrostatic charges: if you run a plastic comb through your hair and then put it close to some scraps of paper, you can see static electricity in action. The comb draws the paper to it. Because opposite charges attract, the paper adheres to the comb as a result of the charged comb inducing an opposite charge in the paper. Coming to the point, a capacitor is a two-terminal or two-conductor passive component which does not generate power. Instead, they dissipate it, that is separated by an insulator or dielectric material such as paper, ceramic, and air. When battery terminals are connected across the two terminals of capacitors, the opposite forces, positive and negative charges that accumulate on each conductor will try to attract each other, but the insulator present between them will not allow it. Once the battery terminals are removed, the positive and negative charges remain in the capacitor. The stored charges will get a path to flow to the load and the lamp starts glowing. Once all the charges are finished, the lamp turns off. The effect of the capacitor is known as capacitance. The unit of capacitance is the farad, abbreviated as F, named after the scientist Michael Faraday. Let us discuss the various types of capacitors. Capacitors are basically classified as fixed capacitors or variable capacitors. Those capacitors whose value of capacitance is fixed during manufacturing and cannot be changed later are known as fixed capacitors. Variable capacitance are those whose capacitance value may be changed physically or electrically. The stationary and moving plate sets make up the variable capacitors. The movable plates are connected to a shaft and the capacitance value can be changed by rotating the shaft. Fixed capacitors are again divided into polarized and non-polarized capacitors. Let us discuss polarized capacitors. Polarized capacitors are a type of capacitor whose terminals, electrodes, have polarity, positive and negative, figure 12. The positive terminal should be connected to the positive side of the supply and the negative to the negative. Reversing the polarity will destroy the capacitor. These types of capacitors are only used in DC applications. Positive and negative capacitor terminals are identified by long and short terminals, respectively. Electrolytic capacitors. Electrolytic capacitors are polarized and categorized based on the dielectric. Aluminium electrolytic capacitors use aluminium oxide as a dielectric. Tantalum electrolytic capacitors use tantalum pentoxide as dielectric. Electrolytic capacitors are used to reduce the noise in audio amplifiers, smoothing their input and output signals. A non-polarized capacitor is the type of capacitor that has no polarity and can be connected either way in a circuit. Non-polarized is used in high-frequency applications. Paper capacitor. In paper capacitors, paper is used as the dielectric material. A paper capacitor is a fixed capacitor in which flat thin strips of metal foil, usually aluminium, are separated by the dielectric material paper. Paper capacitors are used for noise filtering, used in audio systems in cars and coupling the circuits. Mica capacitors. Mica capacitors consist of a number of sheets of metal foil separated by similar shaped sheets of mica. Here, metal foil is a capacitor plate and mica is a dielectric material. Mica is an excellent dielectric and can withstand a higher voltage. Mica capacitors are mainly used to maintain stability. Ceramic capacitors. Ceramic capacitors are non-polarized capacitors, whereas ceramic material is used as a dielectric medium to withstand the temperature. Ceramic capacitors are used in signal transmitters to reduce radio frequency noise on the printed circuit board. Film capacitors. Film capacitors are insulating thin plastic film as a dielectric and may or may not be metallized on one side. Film capacitors are of the non-polarized type and are used in AC circuits. Film capacitors are widely used due to their flexibility and inexpensive cost. Film capacitors are mainly used in medical equipment, high-frequency applications, and analog to digital converting circuits. Let us charge the capacitor. Choose a capacitor that has to be tested for charging and discharging. Using suitable range and voltmeter, touch the both ends of the voltmeter to the ends of capacitor. If there is any deflection, contact both leads through a sufficiently long resistance time to discharge. Ensure the capacity is fully discharged again with a voltmeter. Connect a capacitor that has to be charged to the voltage source with a resistor, an ammeter, and a switch all in series. Connect a voltmeter in parallel to the capacitor. In the case of an electrolytic capacitor, use an appropriate instrument with correct polarities. Close the switch S and observe the voltmeter and ammeter readings. At the instant, you could see the ammeter reading increasing rapidly and decreasing gradually, and the voltmeter reading was 0. After a few seconds, the voltmeter reading will be equal to the source voltage and the ammeter reading will become 0. This shows the capacitor is fully charged. Step 6. Open the switch S. Let us discuss discharge. Create a new point B as shown in the circuit. Now switch positions at point B. This makes the capacitor discharge in the opposite direction through the resistor S. You could see the capacitor discharging when the current in the ammeter reads negative and the voltmeter reading decreased to 0. Let us discuss the testing of capacitors. Set the multimeter in resistance mode with a range of 1 kilo ohm. Remove the capacitor to be tested from the electric board. Discharge the capacitor completely by connecting it across the resistor. Connect the leads of the multimeter probes to the positive and negative terminals of the capacitor. In the case of a digital multimeter, if the displayed values rise from a very low value and progress towards infinity, it shows the charging action of the capacitor, ensuring that the capacitor works fine. If the displayed value is very low, the capacitor has a short, and a constant, very high value indicates that the capacitor is open. It should be replaced in both cases. Step 6. In the case of an analog multimeter, if the needle points at a very low value and moves towards a high value, initiating the charging action of the capacitor is good. If the needle points at a very low value, there may be a short in the capacitor, and if it points at a very high value, the capacitor may be open. In both cases, the capacitor is defective and has to be replaced. I hope that after watching this video, you will be able to identify the various types of capacitors and perform charging, discharging, and testing on them. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.